So आज है 21st of September, that is Thursday, and now we are going for a second edition book launch of Mr. Suresh Sadgopan. The book name is If God Was Your Financial Planner. So currently I am at CBD Belapur at our office, Kaila, and now we are heading towards Tidal Wells at Bandra. So see you in
of you here gracing this occasion with your presence. We understand that it would not have been easier to come over here on a working day and in the midst of our favorite Lord Ganesha's festival. So we appreciate that. Thank you for your love for the literature and support for the author. This has made this event even more meaningful. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to all of you for taking the time to be a part of this joyous moment. Let's give a big round of applause to each and every one of you. Thank you for coming here. So on this special occasion, we are honored to be joined by the industry luminaries who have made significant contributions to the field of finance. Their presence elevates the prestige of this book launch, and we would like to extend our profound appreciation and a warm welcome to our distinguished guests. I will go alphabetically to mention the guests. So our guest of honor for today are Mr. Ashish Somaiya, CEO White Oak Capital AMC, Mr. Ajit Menon, CEO Pigeon, and we are grateful to Mr. Kaizat Arachania, editor Money Control, who will be moderating the session for us. So now, let's turn our attention to the star of the day, the book, If God Was Your Financial Planner. With its beautifully designed... Are you all ready with me? Yes. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! All of us know Mr. Suresh, but still I'll introduce him. Mr. Suresh is a founder and managing director of Lattice Wealth Planners Private Limited, the organization that has served clients all across the world over a period of 19 years. It's a stupendous journey that we have traveled so far. And now the moment has arrived, the official launch of this book. So I would request the guests of honor, Mr. Ashish and Mr. Ajit, to do the unveiling of the book and to do these honors. Can we have a round of applause, please?
But specifically speaking about the two of you all, you guys have been money managers yourselves. You've been in the mutual funds industry. You head successful mutual funds yourselves. So, you have the best of expertise within your organizations who pick up stocks and bonds on a daily basis. So you have a lot of information in your hand. Now tell me honestly, do you guys also require financial planners? Do you all have financial planners? Do you all have advisors? Or do you all manage your money on your own?
So, I can say I have a financial advisor, had one for 15 years now. So I've been working with my financial planner exactly like Suresh. There was a very, as he mentioned, there's a very small community of people who actually follow the tenets of financial
So
planning. Once I got,
do you tell them what to do, or do they tell you what to do?
they tell me what to do, and I follow it to a T. Because the underlying emotion here is trust, right? And I think that it doesn't work if there's no trust in the relationship, or even if there's an iota of trust missing in the relationship. So I think for me, or for any person, I think once they start their journey with a advisor who follows a financial planning process, is when you really realize that your trust starts building first. And that, I think, is so essential for us to, because all of us have some amount of financial anxiety or the other, right? Financial anxiety is a thing. It's a mental thing, and it affects all of us. For some, it's a high degree. For some, it may be a low degree. But everybody has
even fund managers.
Even fund managers, right? And I think that the real magic that happens, or the real confidence that happens, is, or confidence you get, is when somebody reduces that financial anxiety for you. And I think advisors who follow a very process-oriented approach to financial planning, knowing that every household is unique, is what actually gets you to that point of trust as well. So it's been a great journey for me. I have nothing to complain. I am an advocate for the process for many, many years now, and have a lot of friends and family who've, I guess, blessed me for it so far.
Ashish, what about you? And for this conversation, you can call that person anything. You can call that person distributor, RIA, but a guiding hand is what.
So I have, in fact, I have 2 advisors.
Can I be the third?
Can I be the third? we can take that off. So I have 2 advisors for multiple reasons. One is because, I'll take, like, for example, I don't need a financial advisor to tell me invest in White Oak Mutual Fund. That policy I only made, all our employees have to invest in. So they don't need it anymore. But there are other purposes. See, for example, taxation. Right? So one reason I have a financial advisor is because of taxation. Second reason I have a financial advisor is because of, insurance. Third reason I have a financial advisor is for creating, like, family trust. See, what happens, I think the problem is with men, frankly. Because, nowadays, like, there are these Twitter debates and stuff. So men think that, agar main chala gaya, phir bacha kya hai? So most men have this attitude. Like, for example, once I told one guy that these are the reasons why you should have insurance. That, you should maintain, like Suresh said, that families have dreams and aspirations. So most men think that main chala gaya, phir kya bachega? Phir to tumko khali survive karne ka hai. But actually, if you pop it, your family needs to maintain that same standard of living, right? So if something happens to me, what should my wife do? Call a call center? Like, what do you expect? Like, if something happens to me, what should my wife do? She'll have to call someone, no? And that person has to give an answer. बोलेगा wait पे डाला 20 मिनट के बाद आएगा तो क्या होएगा? Right? So these are the reasons why I have an advisor, and the third reason is because my wife asks very difficult questions, so I have to tell her why you right? So I don't think there is anybody who can say I don't need an advisor, because even if you know everything, still I think a third party is important. You saw that movie where Boman Irani is asked, he says that I may be the best surgeon on earth, but if I'm operating my own daughter, then my, when it comes to your own thing, so there are many reasons. I don't think there's anybody who can say I don't need an advisor, and I think you will, every once in a while you will go off the rocker and you will need someone to do it. Like, left to my own, I won't even file my taxes on time.
But usually what it's about getting your child a very expensive education. There's a fact today about IB education, international education. Again, I mean, there's no right and wrong answer to it when it depends on from family to family. But why is it such an emotive decision today in a family to get the child educated in an IB? And why, why are you so strongly advocating a rethink about that philosophy? And how does it actually can impact a family's finances if, let's say, you don't do your calculations properly at the beginning?
See, there are going to be several angles and answers to that. None of which you should take with what is applicable to you. Okay. So the first one which I will say is that, see, we are having a kind of a heuristic that a costlier education or an education abroad is better education. Just because the building is fine, building looks nice, or the educational institution may sound fine and things like that, does not mean necessarily the education quality is good. There are lots of these schools which are actually adding that international, and suddenly the fee goes up by 2-3 times. Okay, and suddenly somebody moves from ICSE to, let us say, an IB, or a CBSE to an ICSE, and then the fee goes up by maybe 2 times, 3 times. See, the point, there are 2-3 points here. So the point is, first of all, you cannot use the heuristic that a better infrastructure and a better sounding name is obviously not equal to great education quality. I mean, you have to really find out that. What I'm asking people to do is to find out really that. I mean, are you looking at the education quality, or are you really going after the names? So that's the point that you have to see. I'll give an example. So I will not take the other school's name, but I'll take the Kendriya Vidyalaya name. So a typical Kendriya Vidyalaya is one of those places which, in my opinion, it's good quality education. But one of those fancy sounding schools may give equivalent education, but the fee is maybe 7 times. So do you really want to go for those kind of schools and colleges? That is number one. Number two, when it comes to, for example, colleges, there are so many colleges across the country. Of course, the top tier is very, very, very competitive. I understand it is the IIT and NIT and all is extremely competitive. The next level also probably is somewhat competitive. There are a lot of private institutions. They are also to some extent competitive, but it is not really out of reach. The first two are slightly difficult today. But my point is, for that one reason, do you really want to go abroad? And if you have the means to put your child through an education abroad, it is fine. So I can quote several cases where the child goes abroad and complete the education, but is not able to find a suitable job in consonance with the kind of money that they have spent. So what is the return on investment? So that is something that we will need to really check out. So it has to be a slightly more rational decision. And most of the parents are actually swayed by this fact that they want to give the best education, and their heuristic is best education is equal to a costly education. And in the process, what you are doing, I'm talking about a whole lot of people. I'm not talking about the people who have the money to send their children abroad. I have no problem over that. There are people who are actually breaking their retirement piggy bank and sending their children abroad. Okay, so you are essentially compromising on one goal for achieving another goal which you think is very, very important. Okay, that is in your mind. You are thinking that putting the child through an education in Singapore or UK or any other country for that matter is very, very important. So what is the return on investment, and what if it does not pan out the way that you have thought? So this is something that we need to really think about. And last point I want to make is that parents don't have time. Today parents have money. Okay, so they really want to give the best for the child. Best for the child equal to money today. So they are willing to spend money. They are not having the time. They cannot give them morals or values or ethics or anything, culture. So they want everything to come from the educational institution, which is unfortunate. So you cannot say that I am going to put my son or daughter in the school because this school is going to do all these 1, 2, 3, 4 things, which as a parent I am supposed to be doing. So these are some of the things which we actually find in our practice, and I would say, personally I would say, a lot of it is wrong.
Ashish, children's education, is it an emotive decision or is it a mathematical decision?
Actually, when I was listening to Suresh, I was thinking like he's slapping me only. So I'll tell you honestly, I can't give an answer for this. I can only give food for thought because I agree with everything, but I've done exactly what he said. So my son is only 4 years old, and what I've paid in his junior KG class is more than my entire education. So that is one food for thought, and I agree with him. It's a heuristic, so you don't want to take, don't want to take chances. What chance liya pata nahi hai. And it's very difficult because it is so, like there's no definite outcome, right? I mean, like I went to a government aided school where 5वीं class में 5 रुपया, 6वीं class में 6 रुपया ऐसा fees होता था, and girls were free. Boys were charged some token money and girls were free. And we turned out fine. ऐसा कुछ I can't complain. तो मेरा बेटा मेरे स्कूल में क्यों नहीं जा रहा है उसका मेरे पास जवाब नहीं है. So it's worth thinking what he said. And I should have got my wife also. Yeah, so I don't have any answer, but I think he's right.
Ajit, I want to ask one question on
Get it signed from him. So finally, I would like to thank you all for being here and make this event a wonderful one. And I wish this book makes its way to the hearts of millions of readers worldwide. And I wish you all a great time and happy reading. Thank you.
Initially, when we put up this whole show and we have thought about that, okay, let's do this book launch event. It was going on for last 15-20 days, and we have not really thought that this will be such a good show. But then destiny has it. So the whole show came out very well, and our team especially has put in a lot of effort into it. Special thanks goes to Pankaj and then Mr.Suresh to coordinate everything, and then my young teammates who are involved in the digital marketing and the and then also getting into the recordings and video editing and things like that. Everything happens in-house, and we run a lean show. So special thanks to Apurva. She's currently on the medical leave. Then we also would like to thank to Rohit as well as Snehal, who are in charge of the digital marketing initiative, and they have done a pretty well job. And overall, all the planners who have time to time called the clients and followed up with them and make sure that a client comes to this particular occasion. So overall, I believe this is pretty good team work, and I like the whole show, how it has came out. So very good. People also have the very good feedback, raving feedback. So it is really encouraging. So looking forward for the next book of Mr. Suresh, which he is planning to write, and where the target audience will be the millennial, the youngsters, the people who are born around 2000. So I feel that will also be a great one. So thanks.